Akwaba, and welcome to Akom Kese 2021 virtual conference. We would like to acknowledge and give thanks to Onyame, the Nana Norman Samanfo, and Abosum for bringing us together for this occasion. This session is about African cloth and its meaning. Before we begin, I would like to go over some norms for the session while on the Zoom platform. We ask that everyone remains muted to allow for clear audio for all our participants. During open discussions, we ask you to just put your name in the chat to inform us that you wish to speak, and you'll be called on. You can also click on the raise your hand button, and we will definitely ask you to speak. We will let you know and ask you to unmute your mic at that time. If you have a question, comment, or concern, please type it in the chat and it will be shared with our presenter during the Q&A. Now, just a little bit of information about our group. The Akom Kese is an organization that is dedicated to a comprehensive presentation and representation of Akan culture in the United States. We work to facilitate this by fostering camaraderie, fellowship, and networking among all Akan in America, by creating, maintaining, and strengthening friendships and familial connections, by sharing wisdom, knowledge, and information that facilitates cultural growth and expression, by showcasing members of the Akan community to each other, individuals that are interested in the Akan culture, and to the members of various shrine houses. And definitely by hosting our annual Akom Kese conference. This year marks our 6th annual conference, and our theme is celebrating 50 years of Akan culture in America. We are so happy that you were able to join us tonight. And now I want to introduce our presenter. I am honored to do so. Tonight, we have Nana Akoshua Kodia Dunyo Ababio, who is the chief priestess of Banafo Bosum PA. She strongly believes in family and has committed her life to building a strong family and community through the teaching of Akan culture. She is the first head administrator of Bosum Jamawoji School. She started the school in her house with 2 students back in 1980. As an educator, she has taught hundreds of kids over her 34-year career. She's a priestess to Nana Surgery, trained under the guidance of Nana Yao Paridini Zulu. She is also priestess to Nana Sufri, a dwarf spirit. Those who know Nana Kodia know she has opened her home to those in need and always provides words of wisdom. She has traveled to Ghana many times to study tradition and culture. Her love of reading allows her to bring a fresh perspective to the healing of Africans in the diaspora. She strongly believes in education and is often heard saying, "I will learn until the day I die." She's the author of the cookbook, African Roots Geechee Cooking. She has trained 17 Akomfos, is a mother of 6, and a grandmother of 16. Today, Nana Kodia will be conducting a presentation called African Cloth and Its Meaning. Many of us wear African print fabrics, but very few of us actually know and understand that many of these fabrics have deep meanings and stories behind them. Nana Kodia is ready to enlighten us. And so, with great anticipation, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you, Nana Kodia.
Kwaba. Muyana. Today is a great day for me. I'm talking to all my peoples. You know how I am. I love people. I love to teach. And today I hope I am able to give you information about some of the cloth that we are wearing that are very old. And I know people like Nana, AC, Nana Adra, they've been doing this like since 1965. And I can't go back further than that, but sometimes the significance of the piece that we have on means so much. And so now when someone says, why are you wearing that? We could tell them. There's different, if you can see the map.
So hold on one moment, Mipacho Nana Kodia. I'm going to ask Akom Kese to please put up your PowerPoint presentation. There we go.
Okay, this is a map. Well, this is a book that have many, many meanings, and also tells you where and why certain people of African descent or from Africa, directly from Africa, what they wear, like the mud cloth. A lot of people from Mali wears that cloth. You have Ghana, you have the Kente cloth, you have the Adinkra cloth. The wax cloth that is very popular was started by the English and the Dutch countries in Europe. They came over to Africa, especially in the West Coast, and they had certain artists draw pictures of cloths. And then they asked, well, why did you draw this cloth with flags on them? Or why did you draw this cloth with numbers on them? And from the meaning, they would draw something, they would have it printed out, and they used the material that was more lasting, because at first, initially, the cloth was not made from the wax print. It was made from linen. It was made from cloth made from the tree trunks. Okay, so it didn't last as long because of the wear and tear of it. But they constructed a way in which it could be washed in a certain way, cold water, and after a given time, it would the wear and tear of the cloth would last much longer. And then you had the kente cloth that was made, and that was long lasting because of how and who it was made for. So I'm going to talk more so about the cloth made in Ghana, Nigeria, which is the Ankara, and cloth made from the English and Dutch, especially for the West Coast, the Western coast of Africa. If you look at the map, can you see them? Can you see it? It shows you different colors that they use in many occasions in those particular areas. But we're going to just stick with the Western coast of Africa. because that's what we basically wear. Most of the cloth that we see and we buy comes from the Western coast. Now mud cloth is very, very important. It's used very much. And I can say in different occasions, it's heavier for the winter time, for the cooler times, temperature of where we live. And then you see different colors at different times that we like to use. We wear white, not all the time. People think that it's summertime. That's why we wear the white. But the white in many cultures is symbolized for purity, the spiritual setting, and is not used all the time. The Yoruba people, they use the white during many of their initiations. So do the Akans, but they use white on different occasions. Like if there's a baby naming ceremony, a lot of times we wear white. If a person is part of the, you say the priesthood, they use white because it signifies purity. You would never, in our society, in many of the societies, you wouldn't wear white to a funeral. But on different occasions, like maybe the priest in Ghana, they would wear white to another priest's funeral on one of the days that they're honoring that person. On the other days, they may wear red or black. And that would signify that they're in mourning. To a chief, what you call a henny, you would wear black or red, or sometimes a brown, a deep brown, to their funerals. Green is worn, and gold. Gold is like you're rich, you have a lot of gold, you have money. It's wealth and fertility. So is green. Green is a medicinal color that represent health. You have blue. A lot of times you have blue and white that represent that you're going to go to a funeral. And it's a peaceful color. Sky is blue. When you're in love, you wear blue. It's colors, different. It's different in different societies, but for Akans, these colors are significant. And also the Yorubas and other societies. We wear African print a lot because it's stylish. Oh my gosh, everybody wants to wear African print to show that they are, they know that they're part of Africa. Before we didn't do that, but now it's very stylish. You could go at any occasion, any time, and put on your African best, or just wear clothing to the market to show that we appreciate African cloth. It's usually very beautiful. The colors are vibrant. We always like to say a little bit like we African, we know where we come from, and it represents our culture, what we know now that we didn't know before. And we usually wear it well. You have African clothing in fashion shows. You have African clothes in different styles. Going to the beach, you're going to a big party, you're going to an inauguration. Is African clothing is very, very popular. We're connecting. That's one way we feel we're connecting to the motherland. When we go to different occasions that they didn't wear African clothes, we wear it now, saying that, yes, we're proud. We're proud to be who we are. I'm going to show you some cloth that's very popular nowadays. And one is, it's been popular for a very long time. You have the turtleback. The turtleback is strength. No one can really break the back of the turtle. It knows its direction and which way it's going. You have turtlebacks for those people that say, I'm very strong and I'm very steadfast in what I do. So that's a very, very popular cloth. You have the links. The links show that when you stand together as a family, you can weather any storm. When people want to show that they are one with each other, they like to wear this cloth to big events to show that is one family connected. Now, I'm giving you meanings from those people that may come from one particular area. It's not necessarily that it's across the board. They may have something a little different than this link to show the strength of their family. But for the people of the Ga traditions, this is what this particular symbolism mean. Okay, what does this look like? Eyes. Eyes are always watching. So when you think that someone is not watching, they are. It's very, very important that you know that whatever you do, there's someone that have seen what you were doing and who you are, and you'd be so surprised because they will be able to say, I saw you. And you said, why? You did? And they said, well, the eyes was watching me and I was watching the eyes. So it's very, very, it's a powerful cloth. It's a very powerful cloth because a lot of times we don't think people are watching us. You understand? And we always watch when we least expect it. ABC, very, very popular, very pretty cloth. And all these cloths come in different colors. This is the numbers, the blackboard, and how the development of language starts. You have people the teachers, they say, oh, I know she's a teacher because she has the ABC cloth on. And she's teaching this young child the alphabet, the significance of numbers, the significance of letters. And this is how she teaches them. So it's a very, very well-known. Good bees don't shake. When you have something on and you look good, the way you walk, the way you hold yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you just strut or whatever, they say you don't have to say anything because the cloth is showing that, hey, I'm good. I feel good. I look good. I don't even have to say good bees don't shake. No, you don't have to do any of that. You just walk and you just hold yourself in such a way that you don't have to say anything. You don't have to make any announcement. You don't have to shout, don't I look good? Yes, you look very good because these leaves will always stay in place. They will always make you look fine. Guess what? Birds of flight. When I first learned about this cloth, birds in flight, it was said that, oh, why would you wear that cloth? The birds are flying away. But that wasn't the full meaning. The meaning that I received later was that money has wings. If you invest right, you get more money. If you spend your money correctly, more money will come back to you. So you're gonna have some money and some is gonna go away and more will come back. So you can't hold on it so tight that you can't receive more. The water well, Subra. It shows how deep the well is, or could be, because it keeps going around and around until you can't see it. But you always want to have refreshing water. You want to have cloth that you will always get more of. You will have cloth that that's going to be deep. It's going to be deep, and you may not know where the next one is, but it's down there in that well where you could get more water. You'll be able to get more cloth. These are some of the styles that people use their cloth for. Some wear what you call the dress. You have suits. You have pant sets. You have occasions where you get married, like the kente piece. That's where you get married in. That's fine. You don't wear all cloths the same way all the time. Like the kente cloth, you wear to weddings and big celebrations. The adinkra cloth, you wear to funerals. You have the festive cloth that these women with the green gilets are wearing. You go to school with this cloth on sometimes. You go to parties with pant sets sometimes. You go to, different occasions, and they're just showing you different ways you can wear it. The man in all white, he went to some place important, Agbada. He has the cloth that he would wear on to a wedding. He has a cloth where you sit and state. And so there's different ways. Any way that you want to wear your cloth, it can be made. It can be made to your liking. So I also sell cloth. The cloth that you see was at a wedding. I sell lace cloth. I sell Holland, Velasco, Dutch, lace, and you can contact me at Nana Kodia Ababio. My email is dunio12@aol.com. My number is 718-413-8449, and I will definitely get back to you.
Nana Kodia, Madasi, pa for your presentation. We had a couple of comments. I just want to read one or two of them. When you were talking about good beads don't shake, Nana Akoshwa Bakan shared with us that the tree name is Akom Kese.
Yes.
And Akom Fiba Anun said Subra, she was taught also represents patience.
Exactly. That's very true. Very, very true. Sometimes you have to dig deep to gain that patience. Not everybody is patient, but after a while, when you go all the way down to your spirit, to your soul, you find that patience that you want other people to have for you.
So we're going to open up the floor to questions, and you can just let me know if you want to ask a question, and I will ask you to unmute. Nana Afua Ababio, you can open up your mic and speak.
Hello, good night, everyone. Ansiama, how are you?
Great.
So Nana Kodia, we're speaking of cloth, and I just wanted to know if you can give us a little bit of information about how we women might wear, our clothing, and the names of, if you have it, of the different types of clothing, like our, blouses and things like that. If you have a tree name or a meaning or reason as to why we might wear the cloth in a certain way.
Okay. Our blouses that we make, they're called Kaba. K-A-B-A. And we usually wear that with 2 pieces of cloth, or you can wear it with just your skirt or your pants or whatever, but the blouse is called Kaba. The women, the traditional women, people of African descent all over in West Africa, they wear 2 pieces of cloth, which is sewn on both sides. And Nana Afua, you know how I will wreck those names sometimes. Okay, you know that.
Yes.
Jump on in, my sister.
Jump in, and I think you know it very well.
Okay, I'll help out as you go along.
Okay, so you can start.
So Okay. I'm going to answer my question.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for the top and bottom.
The top and the bottom. Okay.
Lapa,
So,
and the lapa is the bottom part.
okay. Okay. I understand. So, the traditional way that we wear our cloth, one of the traditional ways is the top and the bottom cloth, and the bottom lapa that we wear is called insasaya, insasaya, and the top cloth, the one that we tie on top of that one, or wrap rather on top of that one, is called akataso. So we have insasaya, which is the bottom cloth, and the top part is akataso. And then I think Mami talked about the different ways, the other cloths that we, or ways that we wear the cloth, the slits or the housewife, which is, it looks like a traditional wrapped cloth, but it's sewn. And the flare, the ball gown looking one. So I think that's the one. And then also, Nana Kodiak could go, the underlapa that
Yes,
we
she will
wear.
go. Like I said,
Okay.
she's gonna give you the right pronunciation. I could tell you what it is in English, but the right pronunciation she will give you.
Okay. And then the underlapa that we women wear to make us look fuller, because traditionally being full meant that we were being well taken care of, and that was a sign of wealth and status, not wealth monetarily, but just meaning that we were being provided for. The underlapa is called atofo, atofo. So that's our underlapa. And then some the ohimas, the queen mothers, and even some akumfu, especially in the Ashanti region, we wear the one big cloth and then the cloth that goes over the shoulder. But the big cloth that we wear that wraps around our torso and across our breast, that one is called aboso, aboso. And that you tie a strip of kente cloth around the waist. And then the cloth that goes over our shoulder is called demsunkrom, demsunkrom. And that's what would be, I guess, considered the female intama. Well, intama, we know means cloth, but it's also the manner in which the men wear their cloth. But for the females, for the women rather, it's called densum chrome. Is less material that is used to make the same look, and it's worn shorter. So I think I answered that part. Yes.
Could you possibly, we're not sure about some of the spellings. Can you just type it into the chat?
Okay.
For us?
Okay, absolutely. I see down now.
And Nana Kodia, before you continue, we have another question from Akuya Doreen. You can unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for this presentation. So I had a question. Actually, I'm a part of a garden project in Philadelphia. We have it every year around March. This year was outdoors. But I bring it up because I was wearing this cloth. If you could see, I was wearing this cloth, and who came over to me was Martha Stewart. She was there, and she came over to me and said, "So what village are you representing by this fabric?" And I was so embarrassed because I did not know. I found that I know that different, I was seeing some that different I guess, communities wear the woven cloth at a certain pattern. They don't really have, well, correction, some of them do have, I guess, prints on top of them as far as like an eye or things like that, but that most things started out, I guess, woven. So is there a way to research which culture had different weaving patterns, so to speak?
Yes, yes, there is. You know, as I said before, the Akans and those that live in Ghana, they have a certain pattern in which they weave their cloth. If you go to the east, you would see the patterns from that particular pattern from Kenya and Burundi. Kenya, Burundi, and there's another Malawi. They use those patterns for their cloth. It's woven. It's puberty rights, and the warriors in Burkina, no, not Burkina Faso. There's another group of people, a tribe that use that cloth for battling, for competing against each other.
Medasi.
Okay, so do that research. I'd be interested in knowing also more about it.
Medasi, yes.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions? While everybody's thinking of a question, Nana Cody, I have a question.
Yes.
Are there certain patterns of cloth that graduate priests would be asked to wear?
There's 7, okay, for the graduate priests in Ghana, that's associated with the latte and Samga group of people. They have 7 cloths that's designated to them when they graduate for the first 7 days. And they're told which 7 cloths they get. They have to wear. One would be the sugar cane. Another one would be the subra.
Right.
Another one would be the ABCs and a kente piece, a dinkra, and I cannot remember now the other one.
Good beads don't shake?
Good beads don't shake. Yes.
Medasi.
And the men would have to wear intamas. Okay, that's where they wrap around their bodies. It's from 10 to 12 yards of that cloth. The trousers underneath them or knickers.
Medasi, pa. Any other questions? I'm sure we must have questions about the cloth that we wear and some of the stories that they tell.
Nana Kodia, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I was doing something, so I'm not sure if you touched on about the funeral cloth and to whom can, should, or, wear it in terms of, akonfo or amanfo or, ohini or, whomever. If you could speak about that a little bit, please.
A monthful, for those that don't know the term, is just for the people, that's not a priest or a chief or someone of status. For the funeral cloth, as I said before, an okonfo, a priest, wouldn't usually wear a funeral cloth for other priests when they pass. There are occasions when they will wear I can't think of the brown cloth, black or red cloth, but on a specific day. They would wear the white cloth on another day, and then you have the black and white or blue and white on another day. The elders, of course, they wear the black and red cloth. And then you have, I don't remember everyone you said. Did I touch everybody?
I think she mentioned akonfo, amanfo, the chiefs.
The chiefs. The chiefs wear black and red. And they wear the Dinkra cloth. There's different Dinkra cloths that are made for the chiefs.
Madasi Nana. We have a question from Akoshua Yeboah. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Nana no mi paucho, Nana Korea, Majo, and thank you for this presentation. My question is, cloths make very nice gifts. They make wonderful gifts. And so if we want to give someone a gift of cloth, is there a type of cloth that is highly appropriate? And more importantly, is there a type of cloth that is inappropriate to give as a gift within the Akan culture? Madasi.
I can't say across the board in the Akan culture, but you would not give someone a funeral cloth. You would not give someone, you could give them lace, beautiful lace. You could give them Dutch wax, English wax, Ankara, something nice. It's according to who you're giving it to also. And that would, dictate how nice of a piece of cloth you would give them and when you would give it.
And mi paucho, also I would, the length of cloth. Can you speak a little bit about what length is appropriate for say a priest or a chief or just someone who's a friend, male or female?
A friend, you give them from 2 yards, is according on what occasion you're giving it to them for. If you want them, if you think they would make a dress out of it, you give them 2 yards, 3 yards. It's according to how large the person is, what size they are. It's according to what the person likes, their favorite colors. Like I said, you wouldn't give an ordinary person a funeral cloth. You don't give them funeral cloth. You don't give them a mourning. And it's according how close you are to them, how much you want to spend on them. It dictates a lot of things, what they like, where you think they're gonna go to. That would dictate, what kind of cloth you would buy them.
Mama Pacho,
Darcy.
can I interject a little bit?
Yes.
So also, Pacho, Auntie Koshua, I think that to answer your question even more, like Nana Korea said, you can give anywhere from 2 yards and up. The average amount of cloth that's given is usually a half piece, which would be 6 yards. Or sometimes you'll ask for a full piece, which is 12 yards. And the average outfit for a woman would be 6 yards, because that would allow for her to make a blouse and the down part, may it be the lapa or the slits or the flare or the housewife. So 6 yards would allow for that. And then the extra, if you have any, always you can use for a duku to tie, your head up with. And then for the men, the same 6 yards can be given. And that can also make a 3-piece set for the men, the trousers, the jeremy or the fugu, and a hat maybe if there's anything left over. But if a man is going to wear entama, right, usually the entama would be about 10 to 12 yards of cloth. And it's not just 10 to 12 yards, just full cut, the full length. It's cut in a particular way, whereby I think it's like 3 yards on top, 3 yards on the bottom, and another part on the side. I don't show, but it's something of that nature. And then the 2 sides are sewn. So that's, in terms of male versus females and what they're going to do, that's about approximately how much cloth is usually brought or given. But if you give something like lace, like Nana Kodia had mentioned, usually lace only comes in 5-yard pieces. I have never personally brought lace that was 6 yards or more. It usually is cut in 5-yard pieces. So, like Nana said, depending on what the person might want to do with the cloth would dictate how many yards would be given, but the usual amount would be a half piece, which is 6 yards.
Okay, Nana Fua Madasi for that additional detail. And Nana Korea, thank you for the answer.
Mapacho,
Yes.
can I just, my wife wanted to help answer the question also. This is Afia Achirwa.
Yes, no problem. No, before you answer, I just want everybody to know, I did notice that your hands were up, and as soon as she finishes this response, we'll call on you as well.
Okay. Nana Mipamucho, can you give me permission to talk?
Yes.
Thank you. Mechia Nana Unumunyina, what I want to say about the certain kind of clothing that you want to give to some people, read the accounts specific. We have all the clothing have a name. The clothes, most of them have a name. So before you want to give somebody a gift, just check on the name of the clothing that you are buying. And then you will see. Sometimes it looks nice for you, but it doesn't have a good name.
It's true.
Yes.
Very true.
Yes. So
But you don't
that's
want to
all I want.
insult the person.
Yes, yes. That's all I want to say. Thank
Oh,
you.
I see.
Yeah.
I see why.
Madasi. We
Okay.
saw Akuya Doreen, you had your hand up. I'm not sure if you had another question. And before she responds, Akosha Bakan gave us the name of another cloth, the tortoise shell, and I pray I say this correctly. Achechere achi.
Thank
Ah.
you, Madasi.
Akuya Doreen, did you have another question? She may have stepped away. I will go to the next person.
No, no, I do not. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I'll see how to take the hand down. I don't know how to do that part. Thank
Oh,
you.
it's all right. No worries. Ohima Adjua. Ohima Adjua, do you still have a question?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Manomi Pacho, may I speak, please?
Yes.
My question is, when presenting, what is the best way to present the material to someone? After you've purchased it, after you've figured out what they like, or, figured out the naming of the cloth and if it suits the person, what is the best way to present the cloth depending on their rank within society?
You asked me that question. And the only thing I can say is that you stand in front of the person, have the cloth in your hands, you present it, tell them why you giving it to them, and you place it in their hands. I don't know. I've been presented cloth in so many different ways that I don't know if it was right, wrong, or indifferent. I couldn't tell you, I couldn't answer and say there was one way to present a cloth to another person.
Nana Mipacho, Nanama Mipacho,
Sure.
may I? Okay, so as you can see, I'm helping my mother out here with some things. Also to answer, to give another way or thought process or something, if you will, when giving cloth, for we are confos, if people didn't know, when someone presents you with cloth, you should always, they can give it to you however, at whatever time, but when you get the cloth, you should always present it to your shrine first, because you're wanting to make sure that nothing is going to be attached to you, because we wear it, it's on our body. And we want to make sure that it's given in good faith, just like, I'm sorry, I don't remember the auntie's name who just came on and spoke about giving cloth with meaning, but you want to give cloth or any kind of gift, if you will, but we're speaking of cloth with good intention. And sometimes people don't. And so anytime you receive cloth, especially, it should be presented to your shrine so that they can remove whatever, because it might not be the person who's presenting it, but because where the person might have brought it and there was a lot of traffic or energy or something that wasn't good passing through that place a lot, it could have attached itself to it. So we as our confos, as we're presented with gifts of cloth, we should present it to our shrines first, and then we can go get it made. So I just want to add that.
Medasi. I wasn't even thinking in terms of if you were a priest or, what part in your life you would do something as you mentioned. So I have to apologize for not mentioning that, because you're correct. You're definitely correct with that explanation.
Madasi. The next question, the next person I have up is Kwabena from Pong. If you are still here and you still have a question, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next person. You can just let me know later if you still have your question. Nana Kwesi, you are next.
Pacho, is that me?
It is you.
Okay. Hi, it's not a Kwesi argument. So Cody, this is what I got to do to see you, huh?
Yes.
I haven't seen you in a year and a half. I got to come on this. That's the only reason I'm here.
Can't be the only reason.
No, you could always.
No, that's the only reason. I was there yesterday and the day before, but cloth wasn't going to be a thing for me. So I said, oh, but Cody is doing it. I got to be there.
Madasi.
Okay.
Madasi.
I do have a question. I have a question.
Okay.
Is there anything that men have to be concerned about in giving cloth to women, or in the way that women wear cloth, that they need to discern, that they need to be conscious of or be aware of? I heard once that, if a woman is unmarried, it's not appropriate to give her cloth.
It's not I've never heard that, Nana. And I would say that if a woman is married, you have to be careful what cloth you give her and how you give it, how you present it to her. From what I understand, if a woman is married, if say for instance, it's her birthday, the man, if he has a child, a male child, the child would present that cloth to the woman. And with regard to certain things that you have to say and you wouldn't say, so it doesn't seem like it's flirtatious.
And that's sort of, I guess, what I meant with, if a woman is unmarried and you're giving gifts of cloth, it might seem like it's a flirtatious thing for a young girl to be receiving cloth from a young man that may not be his intentions. But I haven't known, I'm not of that age, so I don't know if that's a thing.
Are you saying you're old now?
I'm old. Yes, I am. Shoot, it took me a while to get here, but I'm here.
Okay.
So the other thing was like women wearing lapas. Now I don't know. I mean, now they use African print in every kind of fashion, but for women that wear traditionally in lapas, isn't it mean something? How many that a woman will wear, or how she will wear it? If she wears a second lapa on her head, or over her shoulders, or around her hips, or?
Well, today's society is different, but traditionally, when a girl goes through her puberty rites, after she is through that, she can wear 2 lapas or continue to wear the 1 lapa. If she's a woman and she's of age and married, she should wear 2 lapas. Things have changed a lot, so I could not say definitely if you're single and you're of certain age that you.
Good, Angelo. All is well. Long day. Hey, so it's been a.
Oh.
Me, Pacho, Nana. You can continue.
If she's of certain age and say for instance her husband or partner have passed, she should wear 2 lapas, continue to wear 2 lapas. But like I said, in this day and age, many things have changed. It's not as tradition dictates.
Oh, Madasipa.
Yeah, I see that.
Aiko.
Oh. Madasi
Big
P.
culture. There's a Yao that has her hand raised up in the chat. Nana.
Yes, I was gonna call that person next. Yeah, Opari.
Greetings, everyone. For many people that know me, know that I also go by the nickname of Anansua, because I always have interesting stories that seem to mimic those of Anansi the spider. So it is very important for us to try to learn the meaning of the cloth. And I'll give you a good example. So I was getting married in Ghana, and I hadn't seen what my husband to wear was going to be wearing. And the day of the wedding, we were getting ready. And when he came out, I looked at him and I said, nope, this is not going to happen. He was wearing the cloth that says, everybody climbs the ladder of death. And I was like, nope, ain't no way in the world your people gonna be thinking that you're gonna marry me and I'm gonna cause your death. So that stopped everything for a while. He said, oh, but my mother picked out the cloth and everything. I was like, well, this gonna be a problem. So he ran home, he fussed with his mother. Then he had to get a new timer made. So, you know, the wedding was delayed. But the point I'm trying to make is that if I didn't know the meaning of the cloth, right, I could have been involved in a wedding where all of his guests and everybody that was around could be getting the wrong idea, which I felt would have been the wrong idea. So to me, it's kind of a funny story, but it's also a story that says that it's important for us to know our culture and our history, because sometimes even our African partners or individuals don't always know their culture either. And there's a lot of them that also do not know the meaning of cloth or, you know, the importance surrounding cloth. So it's just a way of saying, yes, this is very important information. Try to remember it, try to hold it, because one day it might even get you out of a tricky situation.
Aiko Madasi Pan. Before I call on Kofi Ofori's wife, just give me one moment. There's some interesting information in the chat. So I'm going to encourage everybody to go into the chat and look. I'll try to just give you a few. One question is, what is a head wrap called? And the response is, it's called a duku. We have the name of the birds in flight. Ooh, Sika Wo Ntaban. I believe if someone can correct me if I'm not pronouncing it right. And other information is in the chat, so please go read the chat when you get a chance. My sister, I saw your eyes blow up when they were making some points. So I knew you were coming. So you can come back now and either give us the information or ask your question.
Nana, Madam Wasibebre, I again ask permission to talk.
Yes.
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 I was trying to help about the guy who just Nana Kwesi, who just asked about how many clothing or what kind of clothing you need to buy for your loved ones. As Akan, I always say I am Akan. So we the Akans, we always try to do the traditional way. So what I would say is there's a certain kind of number that we don't give to your loved ones. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So like number 5. 5 is in Akan, we say enum. So enum means if you buy 5 pieces of clothing for your loved one, it means you regret buying that for her. You see, so we normally don't give 5 pieces of clothes to your loved ones. So the best number that you can pick, 3 pieces of clothes, that is miensa, menewodo and sanda. The love between you and I will never end. 7, and so I hold you so tight. Thank you.
That's B.
Man, that's
Now, wait, is that 7 full
number.
pieces or 7 half pieces?
7.
No, okay. Listen, 5 is a bad number.
I got that.
Okay. So when you say 3, you mean 3 6-yard pieces.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
On my way to the store.
Okay. You can kind of.
Madasi for sharing that information.
Good
Let's
evening.
see.
Mipacho, Nana. I want to say something real quick. Hi, this is Tracy Amoa. First, I want to definitely thank Nana Kodia for coming to do this presentation. For those that I know, I'm one of her priests. She graduated me in 1995. I'm very thankful to everything that she's taught me, and she's, she still teaches me, although she don't know, she still teaches me from all the conversations that we had. So I'm always thankful for her, and as a priest, a graduate from Banafo, from Soufier, the lessons that I got there were immeasurable. So I mean, I'm always thankful to her, and I publicly want to say thank you, Nana, for everything that you've done for me. I love you like a mother. And anything I can do for you, I always do for you. So I say that to say, with the cloth, especially for the men, when we're wearing our bachakaris, that cloth acts as a shield for us. So if you're stopped by the police, when they see that you have this cloth on, they will approach you and deal with you differently, as opposed to if you just a regular dude, don't have any cloth on. So I'm saying that, so as part of our culture, in terms of what we're doing, we have protection from our shrines and the things that we do, but when you're representing that in your cloth and what you're wearing, you got a bachakari on and you're going out there, people look at you different and the law looks at you different. So I just wanted to put that out there. So for the young men that are on the call, and go from there.
Didn't let me say anything.
I'm sorry, Nana. Go ahead.
Sorry, I muted myself.
I would like to thank Dr. Nana Akom Amoa for saying what he did. He didn't have to say that, but it was very appreciated by me. And I thank him. And he have so many different situations that he could speak on that has helped him, during times that it could have been different, much different. So I'm happy that you spoke on that in particular. Madasi, for being my son that didn't know was my son.
Madasi Pa. There was a question asked in the chat for the sister. I see Kofi Afori, but I'm speaking to you. But the question was answered in the chat. So the question was, what did 7 mean again? And the answer is, I hold you so tight.
Yeah.
You want to show them?
And they also wanted to know again what was said about the 3 cloths, please.
The three cloth means me and the love between you and I will never end.
Nice.
Very
Madasi.
So I have two men around me that I'm gonna tell them that they should buy 3 cloths for their wives.
That's right. Stay in the good graces.
Okay. I also have a couple of pieces with me. If anyone is interested, you could
They can't see it behind you. You gotta
okay, I'm gonna
it
show
them.
it to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
How can I show this?
I'm gonna show it to them now. Wait, why did you show my cloth? I already bought this one. Sorry, this one's off the market.
Okay, sorry.
I already bought that one too, so.
Oh, okay, I'm
You
sorry.
hogged all the cloth, Quasi. We didn't even have a chance to see it.
That's right. First
going-
come, first serve.
Put him out the room, Nana Kodia.
You have to contact me to see my collection. Jose. Jose. Inez.
Nana, you have more? You have more to show?
Do you need me to help you do anything?
Go ahead.
I don't have many more. I don't have any more to show today. I only brought a couple out with me, but I have a large collection. And at any time, if you want to see what I have, you could call me, FaceTime.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a Zoom cloth party for all those people who are interested in buying cloth. So Nana Kodia will have an opportunity to show her wares and stuff that you have and stuff that you're interested in, and you can get your dibs in. So for those people that are interested and would like to be contacted, just kindly put your information in the chat, and then we'll make sure she reaches out to you.
In addition, Nana Kwesi, can you put Nana Kodia's contact information in the chat as well?
Sure, I'll do that.
I thank everyone for listening, for asking questions, for interjecting anything that they were able to share. And I hope all have a wonderful, pleasant evening. Madasi.
And Nana Kodia, may I return the thanks to you, Madasi Pa. There have been comments in the chat stating how informative and helpful all this information was. So we deeply, deeply appreciate everything that you did for us this evening. We are supposed to be here until 9 o'clock. It's now 8:20, so we can call it an early night, or we could just have some fun. Everybody can kind of stay on for a little longer. Nana, Mipacho, Akuya Doreen, do you have another question?
Yes, I wondered, thank you, Vidasi. I wonder if those fabrics that Nana has, that Nana Kwesi has already claimed, could she at least put them back up and say what the meanings are on those cloths?
I cannot.
Oh, okay.
See, I have some of them, I have to go to the elders to find out. And these particular cloth are the newest styles, except for one. But I would have to ask about it, and if you can you contact me and I will give you the meetings.
Okay, Midasi, because I have a piece that I bought a while back, and I love it, but I don't know if it's like what does it mean or not. So
Oh, that's one of the newer patterns.
yes, yes, and it's purple and it's got gold running through it and some white running through it.
Might I suggest that you take a picture of it and send that to Nana Kodia?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I will. Midasi.
Me Pacho, this is Nana Adjua.
Nana Adjua.
Yes. Nana Kodia, thank you so much for all of that information. But what it also did is it jogged my memory about something that I attended in Crescent Street. That's how long ago it was. And there was a Shanti Chi who came to speak to us. And one of the things he made a point of telling us was there were certain ways that the men would drape the intamas that had a whole story behind it and that could communicate something to a crowd of people. And it was so fascinating, but I'm very old now and I can't remember half of what he said. But you brought that memory back to me, and it would be nice if we could get that information, because he looked so regal the way he stood and showed us how he had the cloth drape. And it was fascinating to me. So I just wanted to know if maybe we can get that information back.
That would be fantastic. I would love to hear that story. You know, I think that we learned so much on Crescent Street from those people that came to visit, those people that came to share. I would love to find out about that in particular.
Nanami Pacho, we have a question from Afiba and Sia. Do specific colors radiate different energies? I often hear of black and red, but what about the other colors?
Yes.
And we're putting this out there. Anybody can answer,
Yes.
actually.
Yes,
Nana.
anyone could answer that.
So the answer is yes. So, you know, the red and black are very strong colors. So red, black, and white, for example, are the colors of my shine. And if you've met or experienced a tingle before, you know that energy is very strong. But yeah, that's definitely true. In terms of the other colors, I mean, yes, with the white being a more serene, peaceful color, the green being a more earthy color. So yes, those other colors do have, you know, radiate types of energy. And the thing that we really shouldn't do is necessarily radiate is probably the wrong word. It's really absorption. What we've said is radiate. So when you're looking at colors, this is the scientific part of it, they absorb a certain spectrum and amount of energy, and what's reflected is what you see. Black, for example, absorbs everything, and as a result of it absorbing everything, you see black. White, on the other hand, reflection of everything. So, but answering your question is yes.
I think that was mentioned on one of the slides too in the very beginning. Nana Kodia had given a number of different colors and what they represent. If you might want to, I mean, if you can find that slide again, we could show it. Wow, you answered 2 more questions. First, well, I'm gonna go to Kofi Ofori again.
Nana, no. What I will help with the colors and the fabric. Okay, so when we say red, black, white, yellow, and green. So let's say I always said I'm Akan, so I always talk about I am Akan. So I know more about Akan culture. I'm sorry, this voice is steady. So the red stand for is like we are in really, really like red. We do it in funeral time and black in funeral time. White is happiness. When we are happy, or we are going for wedding, or we are going for Akom, we normally wear white. That represent divine, or let's say pure. Yellow means like also represent happiness. It's yellow. We that Akan, we say yellow is money or sika. So example, when we give birth, for the first 3 months, we wear white, meaning we are happy for what Ochediampon, Nyankopon have done for us. For 3 months and 9-month journey, we wear white. So after that, after 3 months, we wear yellow, green, blue. That means we are so happy. Now the baby is growing, money is back home, everybody is happy. So that's all I will say about it. Thank you.
Dasi. And on the screen is the information that was presented before, so that everybody can go through that. I have a question from Kwadjo Sapon. What is your opinion on the presence of foreigners printing cloth? Are the messages of our elders being properly transmitted? What should we do?
What was the question?
Nana, can you read the question again,
Oh,
please?
I'll read it again. What is your opinion on the presence of foreigners printing cloth? Are the messages of our elders being properly transmitted? What should we do?
Bob. Pacho? Oh, I'm sorry. This is
no. You go ahead, Nana Afua.
I'm sorry, Pacho. I think that we should, of course, it's really simple. We shouldn't purchase those cloths because we have cloth that, as far as Ghana is concerned, that's made in Ghana, the GTP. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's Ghana's cloth. And we should always patronize our own. And Nana Kofi Malindela Zulu, he just also got some of his own cloth printed. So if we do our own work and we do our, and make sure that we keep our culture and our tradition intact, I don't think that any foreign person or people should be able to come and duplicate and then bastardize, if you will, our tradition. So I just think that we need to patronize our own people and just do the work ourselves. So the cloth is GTP, or yeah, it's GTP for Ghana. And I'm sure that the other countries as well, they might have cloth that's made and is indigenous to that particular country, as well as we have Kente and Adinkra and those things. But I just think that we need to make sure that we keep our own tradition and culture going. Because if anyone can come to find a way to capitalize, they will. But it's for us to not so much stop it, but just do the job ourselves. Because I don't think we can stop anyone from doing what they like, but we can do what is needed for ourselves. So that's my little input. Thank you.
Nana Kodia.
I would like to say that GTP is just one of the many factories that put out our cloth. Another factory is Okasobo. Okasobo puts out the cloth in Ghana. And it's very big, and the cloth is beautiful. It's not as expensive as GTP, but it's very nice cloth. We just have to learn how to patronize what belongs to us. How to GTP and Kosovo, they don't bring their cloth over here for whatever reason. I can't say, but I know they don't ship their cloths over here. I would like for us to one day bring that cloth, those two industries to the Americas, wherever these other people sell cloth at.
Madasi Nana. Also in the chat, it says 2 other brands, Printex.
Printex, yes.
And High Target.
High Target is a Japanese.
Oh.
Yeah, is from the Chinese people. That's a fact.
Okay. Live and learn. The other part of your question, was, are the messages of our elders being properly transmitted? And I believe you mean through the cloth. And what I would like to just add to this is, it will be properly transmitted if we begin to learn more about the cloth, the meanings of the cloth, and we speak to it, and we teach the children about it, because eventually we are the elders. So we need to begin to make sure we are learning first, and then teaching about the cloth, so that the messages will be properly transmitted.
Yes, I believe so. We have to start teaching the young about what we have, so they can continue to develop what we know and what we have. We don't, now, for whatever reason, we don't teach the young children. When I say young, I mean the ones from the 90s on, because I know as long as we had a school, indigenous school, they were taught who they were, what they were about, and how to keep things going. We have to learn how to keep what we have, develop it, and don't see other cultures that are better than us. Okay, because we have a lot of power that we don't invest in our children. We don't teach them that who they are. We don't teach them how can they become great, because when you start telling them that they are and must be great, they will start learning what they need to learn about themselves, loving themselves. I rarely ever see young children wear traditional clothes. If you don't want to put the whole lapis and everything, you could always make African print into dresses, blouses, shirts, pants. Europeans do that. They do. They work with their culture. We need to start doing that also. Madasi.
Madasi, some of you may not know this, but back in the 1990s, Nana Kodia got me my first job in the Department of Education. And I would go visit her class, and she would teach the children the same things, not just the traditional school that she started at in her home, but in her classroom. She was the one who showed me You never hold your culture. You teach it to them and they're hungry for it. And so, yes, we have to. That's what I patterned what I did on, based on the fact that your culture is yours, but kids won't know it unless we teach it to them. So Madasi Nana for that. Nana Amadama Betty Yako put in the chat, I have a book to share. It was written by a Ghanaian and published by Ansa Reads LLC, published in Newark, New Jersey. So if you want to open your mic, Auntie Amadama, tell us the name of the book.
Yes, Abner and Chroma turned me onto this book, Quality Beads. Of course, that's the good beads don't shake on the cover. I'll put the title and the author's name in the chat. But yeah, it's written by a Ghanaian and it's published by Ansa Reads. Just sounds like a Ghanaian publishing company in Jersey. They also have a Facebook page. And yeah, they also have a Facebook page. Abner and Chroma told me about this book and I ordered it right away. Amazon.com has it. They still have copies of it.
Can you type it in the chat, please?
Yes, I can.
Dasi.
And my daughter asked a question, and she knows I'm a book person. I have a book, Color in Your World. Before you choose a career, a mate, a friend, learn what color reveals about you and others. So that's another book. There are, there are a number of books about the colors and the different effects of the different colors. They used to color a hospital a certain color because it would keep the crazy people from acting up. That dull, like a teal color, they used to have that in the hospitals. They used to have certain colors in the schools. Like you don't usually see orange walls in the school classroom. You're not gonna put orange. And the red dress, you want to seduce somebody in American culture, the red dress is the seductive color. So the red stilettos or the red boots or the red dress. It's war and it stimulates, it makes the blood, it does something for the blood, So I won't be specific on that, but yeah.
Nana Koswa Bakan, can you please, this one is too much for me, but can you go through the comment that you put in the chat out loud for us, please?
I can't pronounce it either. That's why I put the two-headed crocodile. But yes, Nana Fua mentioned Nana Kofi Malandela just got his own fabric printed, and that's what it is. It's a two-headed crocodile. And he actually has that Adiko symbol on outside of his house. He calls it Wakanda. Long before Black Panther came out, it was called Wakanda. And so that's his Wakanda cloth. And of course, I have it in purple.
Dasi. There's a question. Is the book of colors Akan based?
The books of colors?
No. It's not Akan based.
And Nana Kodia Mipacho, did you have in the beginning the name of a book as well? I'm not sure.
There was a name of yeah.
African Cloth and its meaning. Oh, that's the name of your the significance of color in African cloth. You held it up early.
That's not. I don't have that book. I don't have that book.
The significance.
That's not a book.
Color.
It was just
fabric. The fabric map, was that a book? The fabric map of Africa?
No. They were in a book.
Oh, okay. It was a reference to something that was in a
yes.
book. Oh, Madasi. There is, oh, you put in the chat, Nana Amadama. The book is Quality Beads and Other Cloth Names by Ofori Mankata.
And can I say something, please? The question about the colors, the book of colors being Akan based, there are so many subjects that we can write books about for our own people. We don't have to wait for somebody else to write it. We can write the books.
Exactly.
So if that's something we need, I'm offering that to people who, this is a book that we need. What do the different colors mean for the Akan community?
We should have.
Madasi Nana. I have two questions. First, the first one from Nana Kofi Boache, and then the second one from Kofi Ofori.
Greetings, everyone. I just wanted to say that the two-headed crocodile, Kuntumere Ku Din Timere Ku, is a symbol of unity. It says that two-headed crocodile fights over food because each one wants to taste in their mouth, even though they have one stomach. It refers to the disputes that sometimes arise in Abusia over property in particular. So it symbolizes how foolish that is to fight over something that is for the benefit of everyone.
Madasi Nana.
I see. And Nana Kofi Ofori.
Good evening, Nana Kodia and everyone. I just wanted to comment about, someone asked a question about whether we should allow people from other countries to print our cloth. There's some legal protections that we could avail ourselves to. And I'm not an intellectual property specialist, but there's the concept of a design patent. And that's something that we need to look into. When our artists create a unique patent, it's possible to reserve the right to that design so that others cannot duplicate it, so that you're the only one that can commercially exploit it. The question then comes up whether the country that you reside in has a design patent law. And then even what the second question then comes up, whether that law is respected and honored internationally. So there are international treaties around design patent and copyrights and patents in general. So it's just something that we need to avail ourselves to and teach our artists about if they're going to go into this business, how to protect their intellectual property rights.
That's something very important to think about. This could lead into another it's so many things that we have negated from the time we found out, like we really came from Africa, because some people don't believe that, as you know. But what I'm getting ready to say is that we allow them to get so far into who we are that they have been able to make sure that they stay in front of many things that we want to be done. We could start a whole new set of clothing lines, different patterns. So then what do you do with something that was made in the 1800s? What do we do with that? What do we do with those cloth that we do know one thing, whatever the Ashanti Henny may have, no one could copy that. It's sacred. You cannot, under any circumstances, no one could reproduce what the Santa Henny and the Kente cloth and the Dinkra symbols are. They can't really copyright that or take it from those people that have been constructing that kind of textile since the day of the beginning. But what do we do with what we have now? Do we throw it away? Do we negate everything? that was printed? Because see, these patterns also were given to the Europeans that now print them. It was given to them many centuries ago. We have to think all of this out thoroughly before we start talking and fighting against it. Because as you know, if you go to war, you can't get into battle, then decide to sharpen your knife. You have to know every step of the way. So it's something to think about, but how will we approach it and it continue? Because it won't be a change within our day and times. Thank you.
Adasi, Nana. I definitely understand what you mean. Some months ago, I saw a documentary that dealt with African print. We call it African print, but a lot of it didn't originate. The way the fabric was printed did not originate on the continent, even though there were traditional fabrics that were printed, in particular in Ghana, and the cloths like the kente cloth, but the way it was printed was done by the English, and that's why they called it English wax. And so now we see Chinese trying to get the same techniques. And can we really be angry with them for doing that? I don't think so. But we have to capture, we gave the meanings of the cloth to them that they printed. So we can't lose that. And we need to make sure that we always, always know what the cloth means based upon the meaning that our ancestors gave it. They made their money off of our backs. So as far as I'm concerned, it's ours.
It's true, it's ours. It's ours.
Yeah, Mr. Ma, I see in the chat you put, I was getting ready to talk about that documentary.
Yeah,
If
you read my
might-
mind. That's exactly why I raised my hand, because I was going to talk about that documentary.
You have the floor. You can speak on it a little
You
bit.
already spoke on it. That's all I was going to say. Was that there was a film recently that showed, what happened with the cloth.
Paucho, do you know the name of the film or what site was it on or something like that, so I can research it?
I think it was wax print or something like that, and it was on what's the name of that company that does the videos? It wasn't on television, I don't think, or it might have been on TV, and then
it was a premiere,
short time, and then you had to log into this. I don't know. I'd have to search for it.
Paucho, the simplest way to address this problem is when buying cloth to ask where it's from, in an effort to purchase cloth that is from one of our African countries.
That is very important, but the problem lies in the fact that just like if you go downtown Manhattan, you can get a knockoff, like a Gucci knockoff or what have you. They have gotten so good in replicating even the stamps that they use on the continent that people don't often know when they're actually buying a knockoff. And it could be something that's made in an Asian country. And at first it was the quality, you could tell the difference because of the kind of fabric they would use to print it on. But now they've gotten so sophisticated that you really, really have to know which brand. You can talk to the market women and ask them, because I'm sure they know which ones are real and which ones are knockoffs.
I'm simply suggesting something that anyone can do anytime that they want to purchase cloth. Ask, where is this from? If it's not labeled on the cloth, ask the person who's selling it. Maybe they can tell you, maybe they can't. Maybe they will lie to you. but you have made the inquiry. You have done what you can do at that point in time. And that is something that everyone can do without having to be an attorney that knows the intellectual property rights or whatever.
Madasi Nana,
That's what I know.
two comments in the chat. If you get the cloth from Nana Kodia, you know you're getting the real deal. And Nana Amadama put the name of the documentary wax print, one fabric, 4 continents, 200 years of history.
Thank you.
So it is now 8:51. And again, we have thanked you so many times, but it's never too much, never enough. Nana Kodia, for the presentation. Oh, this was wonderful. I learned a lot too. And I'm sure everybody here did as well. Oh, here's another comment. Let me do that first. Nana no mi pacho, this is from Akua Bakofwa. Are there objections to printing cloth, any kind of garment that our children and parents can wear that have modified Adinkra symbols? She said she's humbly asking.
Is there any way that you could print cloth that has modified?
Are there objections to printing clothing, any kind of garment that our children and parents can wear that have modified Adinkra symbols? May I just ask, just for clarity, do you mean the issue is how somebody has modified the Adinkra symbol? Or just using Adinkra cloth for clothing?
No, using the Adinkra symbols on clothing, you know, like let's say to print t-shirts or just on plain clothes that we would like to embellish for our children in our community.
You could do that. You could do that. There's no problem with that.
Medasi Nana.
You're wearing the lesson that it teaches. So you're walking with it and carrying it with you.
Yo, Medasi Nana.
Thought you have call for your 4-H hands up again. Is that right? That's what I see.
All right. Good evening. Culture. Just my wife, Afia, also wanted to mention something that there's a protection that some of the companies use, and that is to determine whether the fabric you're buying is a knockoff or a counterfeit. Okay. Yes. So when you buy like GTP, you take the wrapper off. On the inside, there's a code, she's telling me, and you can text that code. And if you get an answer back, thank you for buying from GTP, that means it is genuine GTP. If you don't get an answer back, it's not. So that's how they protect their fabric and protect it from, others counterfeiting it.
The other thing is that real African print, you can wear on either side. On knockoffs, you only can wear them on one side. It's not dyed on both sides.
Madasi Nana. Okay. Are there any other questions? Oh, Nana Amadama has her hands up.
Paucho, I didn't hear any talk about the traditional prints versus the modern designs. Was that talked about at all? There's certain prints that are redone and redone and redone and redone throughout history. And then there are modern designs, and you might see a cloth and you like it, and then you go to get it and it's gone. But there's certain prints that will be redone and redone and redone and redone. And some of those were some of the ones that Nana Kodia talked about earlier. But some of those old standby prints.
Well, what happens is that there's always a new style that comes out And they usually don't have meanings. They're pretty, but they don't have a meaning. If they have some sort of meaning to it, you will see it for many, many years. In the old print, you'll see it also, but if you bought the old print, like in the 80s, 90s, that's as far as it's gonna go. It may be cheaper than if you buy it now. The cost goes up with the old prints.
That makes sense. And some of the old prints, it's very difficult to get them.
Yes, it's true. It's very true. Most of the time, you can get them. You can get them. But as opposed to paying $25, $35, you're gonna pay $150, $160. Yeah, you're gonna pay much more.
Adasi Nana. So I'm looking to see if there's anything else. But as we wind down, again, much thanks and appreciation to everyone who has joined us. We thank you, Nana Kodia, for such an informative session. Meduwasi to you for taking the time to share with us and to teach us. We thank Pacho. Yo. We thank all of you for your participation and pray this information is of benefit to you. We hope you'll join us for tomorrow's session, the last day. And Nana Kwesi, can I ask you just to let us know what tomorrow's session will be?
So tomorrow is a little longer. We have the youth presentation. The youth presentation, it's really a replay from what the youth presented last year. From talking to them, they kind of felt that the adults really were not listening to them. So as many of you guys know, have been with us, we've instituted a platform where the younger people can have a voice. So some of the things that they raised, and we're coming back for a full year, those issues are still outstanding. So we want to have some conversations around what they presented and just have an opportunity for people to listen. So last year when we did Akom Kese, we had concurrent sessions. So people couldn't get to both sessions at one time. We had like breakout rooms. So this year we didn't do that, so that everybody who wants to hear the presentation will be able to do that. So we have that's going to take place at 7 to 8:30. Then we have the men's and women's meetings, which will be breakout rooms. And then after that, we'll have a closing ceremony.
And so just a reminder, the link is the same. If you know of anyone who hasn't registered yet, it's still not too late. They can still join us tomorrow for Akom Kese 2021. So they have to go to akomkese2021.eventbrite.com and register. Invite as many people as you can, especially our young people. Additionally, we invite you to check out our website, akancenter.org, to learn more about us and to check out our YouTube channel, Akom Kese TV, for videos. May Onyame continue to walk with each and every one of you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having this great session. Thank you.
If anybody else wants to say anything, you can unmute yourself.
We also have the Facebook group Akom Kese to feel free to connect with us there as well.
Nana Cody, and this is a JY. I just want to say hello. Hi, family. How y'all doing? Long time.
Thank you. Thank you for moving in.
I miss you, girlie. I miss you. You're doing well. Looking good. Looking good.
Oh, thank you so much.
There's many thank yous posted in the chat, Nana Kodia. Yes. I also want to say, yes, you can get the old prints. As my daughter would say, go to your mother's closet, go to your mother's trunk.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and that's what she's been doing. I'm not
Got
lying.
that right. Oh, okay, don't tell anybody. I won't tell anyone.
The old print.
Okay.
We keep those hidden.
You got me good.
Okay.
Okay, Nana Kwesi, whenever you're ready to pull the
Good night,
cord.
everyone. Thank you
Good
so
night.
much for coming, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.